Justice Minister Paul Goldsmith has signed Kim Dotcom's extradition order. The German-born Dotcom moved to New Zealand in 2010 and has been facing potential extradition since 2012 when he was arrested as part of a global sting. The US Justice Department pressed charges against Dotcom, including criminal copyright infringement, money laundering, racketeering and wire fraud. Now, Dotcom's always maintained he was not responsible for people who used his site Mega Upload for illegal purposes and that he has never lived in or even visited the States. But Minister Goldsmith says he had received extensive advice from the Ministry of Justice on this matter and considered all the information carefully and have decided that Mr. Dotcom should be surrendered to the US to face trial. In response, Dotcom tweeted, "Don't worry, I have a plan. I love New Zealand and I'm not leaving." So after 12 years and millions of dollars on lawyers' fees, will Kim Dotcom finally be prized out of his mega mansion in Queenstown? Joining me now is Marie Dyhrberg, KC Senior Barrister specialising in criminal law. Marie, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah.
It's always lovely to talk to you, and I appreciate your time, especially on a Friday afternoon. Minister Goldsmith has signed the extradition order. No doubt Dotcom will seek a review of that decision.
Yes, there's no question that he's going to take it right to the bitter end to see how far he can go. He's already exhausted all his appeal rights. So what is now left for him is this is a ministerial decision. It's not a court order.
What's the difference?
A court, well, you have appeal rights, you see, because you've got the judiciary, you've got judges who are making decisions within the courts, and there are appeal rights to test those. When you have something such as a minister's conduct or any sort of government conduct, you then have the right to review the making of, say, an order to see that it has, in fact, been properly made in terms of process. So that's what Dotcom will be looking at. Has the making of the order, he will be reviewing the process that Minister Goldsmith has gone through to sign off the order. So it's not that he's appealing the legitimacy and law of the order. What he's got left is the process covered. And, of course, Minister Goldsmith has said, I have looked very carefully at all the process, all that's happened before. So what Dotcom has to show, and it's a very high bar, is in making his decision, is that decision outrageously irrational or unreasonable to have made that decision? And Minister Goldsmith has already heralded, I have gone through everything very carefully and I have given Kim Dotcom, we'd almost forgotten about him, hadn't we? It's been sort of tucked away and then suddenly here he pops up again. Such a incredible figure. And so he's given him time to review it. And also, Kim Dotcom could look at, say, there are compelling reasons, there are some extraordinary circumstances to do with maybe age or ill health that says it's not appropriate for you to send me and surrender me to the United States.
Right.
All of this has been argued already in the courts. So it would have to be something that would be quite compelling. He's not going to face the death penalty. He clearly will face some sort of imprisonment based on how long that will be, one doesn't know, but based on what happened to the co-defendants. So he knows he will, but is it going to be an outcome for him that would be really offend what we would ever sentence someone to here? But that's, again, for the court. So what's the argument that the United States authorities are is that this was really serious infringement on a major scale. it will be for the courts in the States, as I see it, to decide, did Megaload, they were warned by the film industry and the music industry, hey, you are really infringing by inviting people to download and whatever. He's saying, I was not responsible for what they did.
Yeah.
That is a matter that's going to be for the courts in the United States. But of course, what we've got to keep in mind also is it's not just do we protect Dotcom himself. We have treaty obligations with the United States. And we have to also honour those obligations so that if there is no sound basis, like there will be some extradition that will be really obvious. You wouldn't send somebody back to certain places if they're going to be tortured or they're going to be even be killed if they go back somewhere. They're the easy ones. And so you say, well, yeah, we can't possibly extradite someone. But if there's no real compelling reason why he cannot go back to face the courts in the United States, where there would be some sort of really unacceptable penalty to him, then we've got treaty obligations. And that's
Marie,
what the minister's got to honour as well.
Yeah, you said that, I mean, I said he's had 10 years of appeals, probably because he's been here 12 years. You mentioned that has he exercised all his appeal rights? How does that work? You only allowed so many?
You go through the different stages. You might get your appeal case knocked out at an early stage, but he's been through the Court of Appeal, High Court, Court of Appeal, and Supreme Court. Oof. He's been arguing, do not extradite me, it's not lawful, it's not right. The rulings have gone against him, and so now the minister said, right, well, there's no more appeal rights. He's exercised them all. He can make the extradition order, and it's now for Dotcom and his legal team to challenge by review the process and the decision itself and say the process was not honoured. There was something wrong with the process. And that's all he's got left.
Wow.